Yes guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel and a very happy new year to you all. I hope you've had a really good one. Welcome back to AY Vlogs. Please support the channel by liking, commenting and subscribing, and as always hitting that notification bell for future and upcoming videos. You may recognise where I am, St Thomas a Becket Church. So I recently did a vlog here just before Christmas. We've got the main church over there. And I've basically come back. I've come back to check Heptonstall Museum out, which I've managed to catch open. I have gone in to ask if it's okay if I record, so no need for spyglasses. He said it's absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the recording back up in a second. We're going to go in and he's going to tell us all about it. He's just volunteering here, absolutely a lovely chap, so I'll pick it back up, guys. Right guys, so here we are. Got to be very, very careful. It is very, very slippery on these pavements. But this is it, Heptonstall Museum. It's currently open. Please, 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 anybody who comes to visit this place, please be very careful and mindful of the slippery surfaces, because I don't want anyone coming up here and breaking my neck after seeing my video. So for £2 a month, you're free access to exhibitions, lectures and events, invites to exclusive opening and launch events, member only open days, evening reading group, member forum, opportunity to contribute feedback and ideas via a quarterly meeting, simply supporting a valuable community resource. So you can scan that QR code, guys, and you can become a part of Heptonstall Museum's future. Right, so yeah, let's go in and check this place out. So this is sort of like when you first walk in. What's your name, sir?
Michael.
Michael. So I had a quick word with Michael before I started this video. He said, yeah, it's absolutely fine, you can come in and record. So I think Michael's going to kindly give us a little bit of information about this place. Because not a lot of people know it's here, do they? So
Not enough, no.
Not enough. So would you like to give us some information, bit of background on it and things?
Yeah, okay. So welcome to Heptonstall Museum. The little building that we're in was once a corn exchange. The building was put up in about 1590, and it was where people came to buy flour or trade corn that was turned into flour before there was a corn exchange, much larger one in Halifax. It then became a school, an Elizabethan grammar school, and that for most of his life was what it was. So that's in the 1640s. Then it became a penny bank for a period of time. Penny Bank was a Victorian initiative where you could open a bank account with just a penny. Then it was somebody's home in the 1950s, and from the 1970s, for 50 years, it was a museum run by Corderdale. They closed it a few years ago, and a group of us in the village got together to create an independent organisation run by the community called Friends of Heptonstall Museum, and we took it on and to run it independently, and have been doing that since May of 2023. Now, we basically, you go through, there's a schoolroom you can see. So we're not that big, so our strategy is to throw the building over to one exhibition at a time. And currently, and we have the one that we opened with, which is the Gallows Pole. It's about the Cragg Vale Coiners. There is another reason for this, and that is because Shane Meadows filmed a lot in this building. It was turned into a tavern and became the sort of main collective space in his TV programme called Gallows Pole, which came out on BBC television about the time we opened. And so we're grateful actually to the BBC and to Shane Meadows and Element Films for helping to make a kind of transformation, which I'll tell you about as we go through, and for us to tell the story of the Gallows Pole. And we have here Ben Meyer's award-winning novel, marvellous book, Gallows Pole, beautiful reimagining of the historical truth, I suppose, if you like, which Stephen Hartley, who was a descendant of the leader of the Coiners gang, David Hartley's book, which came out in the summer of this year. So, let's go through to, first of all, we have what we call the loom room, which is, not surprisingly, got a loom in it. This is a replica loom for the 18th century and made by BBC Joiners. So it's a replica that was used in the show, and we look after it for them. And we have a pile of fleeces of sheeps, and we explain to young people or others that might not know the whole process of carding, combing and carding to make something you can spin a yarn on a spinning wheel, and then we have a warp and a weft, the two strands that interlock to make the cloth. And this was the kind of life and machine that it was generally the man in the house, the male, the patriarch, who was kind of chained to the loom. And the loom, the word heirloom, is from the hand loom weaving years when looms were passed down through families, and it was really a way of life. And so this was a hand loom weaving area, Heptonstall and the West Riding, and we're talking pre the factory system, so it's kind of a pre-industrial time, really from the Middle Ages onwards. And it's key to the story of the Cragg Vale Coiners, really. The area was doing quite well just as the story of the Cragg Vale Coiners begins, in the 1760s, because they are making worsted, a kind of thicker wool garment, which was used for uniforms. And at that particular time, there's a world war, in a sense, between Britain and Portugal versus Spain and France. Largely fought out in the Americas, actually, so it's the kind of last of the Mohicans period. And so it's boom time, really, if you're making uniforms. But that comes to an end. And there's a sort of coincidence of circumstances where there's no demand, there's very little demand for cloth. There is a shortage, a physical shortage of coins, of currency in the country. And so, filling this opportunity, a family, the Hartley family, led by David, clip and make their own coins, Portuguese coins, which are being used in Britain at this time, in the absence of sovereigns and guineas that the mint aren't minting. And up here we have a case. We have an information board running around the room, which tells a story. And this is a great place to start because you have the equipment with which they physically made the fake coins, and they were good at it. They were too successful for their own good, really. And so the story that we tell is one of, circumstances, how they made the coins, and then really just at the end of how they're investigating what happens. It leads really to the murder of two people, and then there's the crime and punishment information here, and we have a blade which was used in Halifax at the gibbet, not at airtime actually, but that was how people were executed up to the end of the 17th century. We've created a sort of what we feel would have been a reimagining of David Harvey's cottage.
Memory card.
Take my boots, a coin on each eye to buy with me. I am not a highwayman, nor have I widow's maid. I put coins into their pockets, and for this I was betrayed. A weaver's son, a weaver's
So these are the actual props from the TV show then?
The costume in the middle is, yeah, that was
Wow. It's lovely, isn't it?
yeah, that was a stagman, which was this sort of mythical character, really.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people wear them
Sort of supernatural.
in movies and things like that, yeah.
The
That's lovely.
Costumes are either side of, these are sort of what maybe the
Yeah.
average person may have been wearing, or even actually it's a nice hat, isn't it, from the gentry.
Yeah, it's lovely.
18th century. And we have a dressing up area for kids, and it's very popular, really. I think we made the most of the space, really, and it's got a lot of atmosphere.
But it's nice that the kids can come and have a bit of a dress up, innit?
And as you can hear, we've got a local singer to sing a ballad.
So, is there a downstairs bit to
Yeah,
this?
there
Am I
is.
right
It's
in
what we call
thinking
the
that?
undercroft.
The undercroft, that's
Yeah,
it.
and it's not open to the public as yet, but we have plans for that. It was originally used as a kind of, I think it was a slaughterhouse, because there's all these huts of where they would hung meat and whatever. But yeah, we're hoping to get a grant and to develop that into possibly a Sylvia Plath tin-use
Do you,
centre.
I was talking to you a little bit about paranormal, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Before we got on the camera.
Do you want me to turn it off? Is it?
No, it's fine, I can hear you. So we were talking a little bit about paranormal before I started filming. But, I mean, you're here, quite a lot, because you're volunteering here.
Yeah.
You ever sort of heard anything, sensed anything weird kind of going on, or anything like that? Because I'm picking a lot of spirits up in here, my friend.
Well,
A lot.
this is a very old village.
As soon as I crossed that, came up them stairs and walked into this room, I literally felt like something walked through me.
Well, I feel a great atmosphere here, and we have had, excuse me, we have evening events, and they're very popular, and we had a lot of poetry nights this past 6 months, and we'll be having the series of history lectures through 2024, and people like coming, and it looks lovely in the evening when it's dark, and we'll maybe just have one light on and have some candles and what have you.
Oh yeah.
And so, when you're really reading poetry, so we had a Ted Hughes event, we've had a Sylvia Plath event, and often, we have current poets, but very often people read poetry of people who are long dead, by people who are long dead, and I don't know, there's a special atmosphere here, and obviously
You can sense
you can't get too many people in, but
You can
very often more
sense things are around you.
Yeah. I feel it's a great place to think.
Yeah,
and feel
I
and to
completely
contemplate.
understand. Yeah.
And we're away from roads, so there's never any. The village is quiet. There's never any extraneous noise.
Yeah.
So it's silent.
Yeah.
In here, and I personally, when I do shifts, I don't ever radio on. I welcome the peace and quiet, and I can really think and feel. And your imagination, because you're in such a place, as you say, that has had so many people go through. I mean, this floor. And Shane Meadows fell in love with it. He filmed in this room. It was a tavern, so if you can imagine it bare, and he put the wood paneling in, and then he put a bar across here, and there were barrels and everything. You see the show, and he was a great supporter of us keeping the building alive, if you like, and setting up an independent museum, because if we hadn't have done this, the building would have been sold and probably turned into apartments or something.
Yeah.
So we wanted to keep it.
Yeah, we don't want that, do we?
No, it was part of people's culture.
It's culture and history, and there's far too many buildings getting torn down and stuff getting built in the place. You know, it's crazy. So we don't want any of that.
In the village, there are families here that can trace their ancestors back.
Yeah.
To the 1600s and what have you. There's names of families that just go back and back here into the Middle Ages, and so their ancestors would have been taught in this place when it was a school in the 1600s. So we felt, you had a kind of duty to try and save it, I suppose.
100%. Well, thank you for coming on camera and giving us the history and the background to it and stuff. I will pick it back up, guys, so a big massive shout out to, is it Michael? Yeah, Michael. Yeah, big massive shout out, mate. And it's been brilliant, and I'll pick it back up when I get back outside. Right, guys, so I'm back outside. Big massive shout out to Michael. So this is the bottom of the museum, by the way. We are going to be opening another exhibition at some point. So you've got the top bit where we've just been, and then the lower bit behind me. That's going to be getting opened up at some point. Now, it's a £3 admission, guys, but I think that's just more for sort of like the upkeep of the building, and the people who volunteer in there, stuff like that. And bless his cotton socks, he wasn't going to charge me. I said, no, here's £3. That's my contribution to sort of keeping the place going. So I've also spoke to him about a possible paranormal evening as well. So I mean, if I can sort of box that off, that'll be absolutely amazing. Definitely full of spirits in there, guys. I mean, when I walked in, the lobby, not too bad. The second room, not too bad. When I went into that main bit, feel them all around me. Absolutely crazy. But listen, I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. It's the village of Heptonstall behind me. It's not very big. Remember, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe. Smash that notification bell for future and upcoming videos. And I'll catch you all in the next one, guys. Bye for now.